I'm going to preview the 1 seed Florida versus the 1 seed Houston men's basketball game, which is part of the national championship, as we all know, in San Antonio, Texas, at the Alamo Dome. The game will be played on CBS at 7:50 p.m. Central Time. And as of right now, Florida's favored by 1.5. And I apologize for looking out because I can't memorize all this stuff. And believe it or not, a matchup predictor actually likes Houston 65.5% of the time, well, compared to Florida's 34.5. And both of these teams are 35-4. So the winner of this game is going to have 36 wins. The loser, 5 losses. And Florida was 14-4 in the SEC, and they did win the SEC championship. While Houston just ran through the Big 12, 19-1, and their only loss was in overtime by a point. And they did win the Big 12 tournament championship, of course. And this is Houston's first national championship appearance since 1984, when they went like back-to-back national runner-ups. While for Florida, this is the first national championship game since 2007. So and Houston's never won the national championship, period. While Florida's won 2 of them, and that was back-to-back in 2006 and 2007. So we're going to have to wait and see who wins it all here. And all this. And I'll go over some players to keep an eye on for both of these teams. I'm going to just start with the favorite in Florida. It's such a tough call on which one to go first. And I'm just going to go over some key players, not every single one, on the roster, of course. And obviously the first player to mention is Walter Clayton Jr. Number 1, 6'3", 195-pound guard. That's a senior. 18.5 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 4.1 assists per game, 2.4 turnovers per game, 1.2 steals per game, 1.9 fouls per game, 39.2% from the three-point line on 296 attempts, and 87.1% on threes on 140 attempts. And both of these teams did not play each other in the regular season, so this is a very interesting matchup right here. Then is Elijah Martin, number 15, 6'2", 210-pound guard. That's a senior. 14.6 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, 2.2 assists per game, 1.5 turnovers per game, 1.5 steals per game, 1.5 fouls per game, 35.5% on threes on 220 attempts, 75.7% on free throws on 115 attempts. And there's Will Richard, number 5, a 6'4", 205-pound guard. That's a senior. 13.2 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, 4.5 turnovers per game, 1.6 steals per game, 2.3 fouls per game, 35.2% on threes on 216 attempts, 83.7% on free throws on 92 attempts. And there's Alex Condon, number 21, a 6'11", 230-pound sophomore. 10.5 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game, 1.3 turnovers per game, 0.8 steals per game, 1.4 blocks per game, 2.3 fouls per game. Made third on threes, but that's on 57 attempts, and 59.9% on free throws on 167 attempts. So that's your hack-a-shack when you see one, and of course you gotta be careful with the foul trouble on them. And there's Thomas Hall, Haugh, and I apologize if I butchered that. Number 10, 6'9", 210-pound forward. That's a sophomore. 9.9 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game, 1.1 turnovers per game, 0.8 steals per game, 0.7 blocks per game, 2.4 fouls per game, 34.7% on threes on 101 attempts, 79.2% on free throws on 154 attempts. There's Denzel Aberdeen, number 11, 6'5", 190-pound guard. That's a junior. 7.7 points per game. And 1 turnover per game, 1.5 fouls per game, 35.3% on threes on 102 attempts, and 70.6% on free throws on 68 attempts. And there's Ruben Chenwu, Chenelu, Chinyelu, and apologize if I butchered that. Number 9, 6'10", 255-pound center. That is a sophomore. 6 points per game, 6.6 rebounds per game, 1 turnover per game, 0.8 blocks per game, 2.8 fouls per game, 58.5% on free throws on 53 attempts. So yeah, it's another hack-a-shack when you see one. And there's Sam Alexis, number 4. But he only played like 1 minute the game before. I mean, like in the Sweet 16. But I'm still going to go ahead and mention him. 6'8", 240-pound forward. That's a junior. 4.7 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, 0.8 turnovers per game, 0.6 blocks per game, 1.6 fouls per game, 20% on threes, but that's on 20 attempts. 53.8% on free throws on 26 attempts. And really, I'm going to just go over like one more guy, to be honest, and that's Urban Klavzar. And I know he hasn't played since the Sweet 16, but still notable. Number 7, 6'1", 109-pound guard. That's a freshman. 3.2 points per game. 0.9 fouls per game. 34% on threes on 50 attempts. And 2/3 on free throws on 12 attempts. So that's really all the guys you really need to know. For Florida, now Houston. And I will say this up front about Houston. They don't have guys above 6'8", but they could defend at a high level and rebound. And look what they did against Duke. So obviously the first player to mention for Houston is L.J. Cryer, number 4, 6'1", 200-pound guard. That's a senior, 15.6 points per game, 2.3 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, 1 turnover per game, 0.9 steals per game, 1.3 fouls per game, 42.7% on threes on 279 attempts, 90.1% on free throws on 101 attempts. And there's Emmanuel Sharp, number 21, 6'3", 210-pound guard. That's a junior, 12.8 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 0.8 turnovers per game, 1.4 steals per game, 2.4 fouls per game, 41.5% on threes on 207 attempts, 87.4% on free throws on 119 attempts. And there's Milos Uzan, number 7, 6 foot 4 inch, 109-pound guard. That's a junior. 11.5 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 4.3 assists per game, 1.4 turnovers per game, 0.9 steals per game, 2 fouls per game, 44% on threes on 141 attempts, 77.6% on free throws on 58 attempts. And there's obviously Jerron Roberts. And he actually came up huge in free throws yesterday despite his free throw percentage on the year. Number 13, 6'8", 235-pound forward. That's a senior, 10.7 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game, 1.6 turnovers per game, 1 steal per game, 0.7 blocks per game, 1.9 fouls per game, 63% on free throws on exactly 100 attempts. So even if you do the hack-a-shack, he could still make free throws. I mean, he did that last game against Duke. And there's Terrence Arsenault, number 23, 6'6", 205-pound guard. That's a sophomore, 6.6 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, 0.6 steals per game, 0.6 turnovers per game, 0.9 steals per game, 1.2 fouls per game, 34.1% on threes on 82 attempts, 72.9% on free throws on 48 attempts. And there's Malik Wilson, number 8, a 6'3", 175-pound guard. That's a senior, 5.5 points per game, 4.1 rebounds per game, 0.8 turnovers per game, 1.2 steals per game, 1.4 fouls per game, 35.1% on threes on 37 attempts, 71% on free throws on 31 attempts. 37 attempts on the threes, 31 attempts on the free throws. And there's Joseph Tugler, and number 11, 6'8", 230-pound forward. That's a sophomore, 5.5 points per game, 5.9 rebounds per game, 0.9 turnovers per game, 2 blocks per game, 1.9 steals per game, 3 fouls per game, 27.3% on threes on 11 attempts, 54% on free throws on 63 attempts. And there's Javier Harris, which is the last player I'm really going to mention, because there's no need to mention Mercy Miller. I doubt he'll play in this type of game right here, unless it's a blowout, which I don't expect it to be. Number 5, 6'8", 235-pound forward. That's a senior, 5.1 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, 0.9 turnovers per game, 2.1 fouls per game, 0 for 1 on threes, 72.1% on free throws on 68 attempts. And albeit, like across the board, you got to give everything you got in this type of game, especially for if it's your last game in your collegiate career, whether it's due to graduation or NBA draft. You got to out hustle the other team. You got to adjust to the officiating, adjust to the physicality. You got to be a more mentally tougher team. You got to keep your composure, and whatever you did wrong last game, you got to correct in this type of game. And whatever you did right last game, you got to bring in this type of game. And do not get like a technical foul or a flagrant foul, or touch the ball when when the opposing teams try to inbound to pass. Yeah, I'm talking about that specific situation that Houston did. You can't do that. I mean, it's just telling the truth in all this. Obviously, you want to limit your foul trouble while getting them in foul trouble, especially the better players out there. I mean, it's just telling the truth. And yeah, there might be questionable officiating, but you gotta make plays to win. And I know the officiating needs to be good in this type of game, but you cannot rely on them alone. And try to take away take away the opposing fan base from the game as much as possible while getting your fan base involved. And another thing is that you cannot you gotta settle in. I mean, this is a big game for both of these teams. I mean, it's a national championship, and they're not used to these type of games. And yeah, I know L.J. Cryer that played in a national championship for Baylor, but that was a runaway game. That's totally different than this type of game right here. And you gotta trust your work and all this. I mean, now on defense, I will say you got to contain the shooters. Not for both of these teams to contain the slashers. You gotta get some defensive boards. Limit the second chance points in the paint. Of course, you can't let the other team live at the free throw line either. You gotta cause some havoc, cause some turnovers. Of course, another thing across the board is you gotta make adjustments on the fly, not just from first half to second half, but throughout those halves as well. So, yeah, and especially on defensively, you might need to switch, put more pressure on the ball and all this, and you gotta box out on free throws. I'm just saying that because it is a big deal, because extra possessions can make a difference in this type of game. You gotta limit the points out turnovers, of course, points in the paint and fast break points as well. While on offense, sometimes your best defense comes from your offense. You gotta get some points out turnovers. Of course, get some points on the paint. Fast break points. You gotta let your shooters take. You gotta take some good high quality shots. You gotta make them count. You gotta make your free throws count. I mean, because it can be the difference in the game sometimes. And you can't go have a long time without scoring a basket. I'm just saying that because it did. Yes, Houston did win, but at times they couldn't make a basket for a while. Then they climbed back in. Then Duke got back, extended it, and then they came back in. And of course, as we all know, they only made one shot in the last 10 minutes in the game. That's really that's a field goal and not free throws. And you got to adjust to the physicality. And you can't have live ball turnovers. You got to take care of the ball, especially the live ball ones. And yes, I know there's dead ball ones, but point being, it's a lot easier on yourself when you have another, you get back on defense and you don't have to worry about a live ball turnover. And you got to withstand scoring runs, and you just got to stay resilient. Well, of course, on offense, you want to have scoring runs offensively. And you got to have your bench players step up in this type of game, because it does make a difference, as we all know. And getting some second chance points really helps, too. Of course, on defense, you want to limit those. You got to have your role players step up. So, that's pretty much all the keys right there. And albeit both of these teams have some seniors on it. And I know Houston does have one player, and that's a senior. But he has not played in a long time, since December 10th, and he's been out with injury. So he probably has another year left. But for all the other guys, yeah, your season's done after this. So got to empty the tank. And I do think both of these teams have had some breaks. Let's be honest. Look what happened again for Houston against Duke last game. And honestly, look at what happened to Florida right after, right when they came back against Texas Tech late. And obviously, you want to shut down the best players as much as possible. You do. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens. And there's one of two ways after an emotional comeback like Houston did. They either play really well or not so good. I mean, look at the 20. Just an example here. In the 2021 National Championship, when Gonzaga had to literally hit a game-winning shot against UCLA, guess what happened the next game? They got beat bad by Baylor. So, that's just an example right there, but you get the whole point. You can't have an emotional hangover, Houston. And you got to recover well from that last game for both of these teams. And I'm sure Florida's like, thank goodness Houston tried to give everything they got to come back, because it's going to be hard to do that in 48 hours. You know, and Houston is close to close game. They're used to close games. Duke wasn't. Now, Florida, they're used to close games. A lot better than Duke is. And there's a reason why the SEC and the Big 12 are better than the ACC in men's basketball this year. Look, first of all, look at the number of bits. Second, who's in the national championship games? Both of them. Both conferences. So it's like Big 12 versus SEC. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens and all this. And obviously those coaches need to keep their cool as well, because you do not want to get a tech in this type of game. I mean, I'm just saying. And you know what's crazy is Houston and Florida was down at halftime as well. So this is a total coin flip game in my mind. Wouldn't shock me either way. But I would be more surprised than not than it was a blowout, one way or the other. So we're going to wait and see what happens. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So my money, this course, like video, comment video, really helps YouTube background. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribe, hit subscribe button. It's free. Hit the notification bell as well. And I want to mention one more thing. Florida has won the last 11 games, while Houston has won the last 18 games. So either way, a long winning streak is going to be over. And all this, and as well, like I said, Houston's only conference loss, both the regular season and in Big 12 tournament, was that overtime game against Texas Tech by a single point. And of course, the last regular season, the last loss in regulation, technically, was against Auburn on November 9th, because all the other losses have been in overtime this year. So that's something to note. Houston has not lost in overtime for a long time. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And all this. It's going to be an interesting game to watch on Monday night. So let's see what happens.